The photographer's hand was on my thigh when I realized modeling in Italy was going to be different from what I'd imagined. We were on a cliff overlooking the Amalfi Coast, and the Mediterranean stretched out below us in impossible shades of blue. This was supposed to be my dream. 3 months in Positano shooting for Italian fashion magazines, a chance to escape small-town Indiana. But Giuliano, mid-40s, expensive camera, cheaper charm, had his hand on my leg and was squeezing, and his smile said he thought this was normal. I moved his hand away, firmly. Let's just focus on the shots. His smile dimmed. American girls, so uptight. The session was poisoned after that. When we finished, he packed up without a word and left me on the cliff with the sick feeling that I'd just made a very expensive mistake. The walk back to my apartment took 20 minutes down winding streets that smelled like lemon trees and bougainvillea. I was thinking about rent I owed and jobs that might not come now when I noticed the man following me. Not obvious, but there. Keeping pace about 30 feet back, same turns I took. My heart kicked into a higher gear. I sped up. So did he. The street was getting quieter as I moved away from tourist areas. I pulled out my phone, used the camera to look behind me. He was closer now. 30s, average build, baseball cap pulled low, staring at me with an intensity that made my skin crawl. I broke into a run. Then a car pulled up beside me, window rolling down, and a voice said in accented English, "Get in." I didn't think. I yanked the door open and threw myself into the passenger seat. The driver was younger than I expected, maybe early 30s, with dark hair and darker eyes, and a face that would have stopped me in my tracks under different circumstances. He drove with calm precision, watching mirrors, taking calculated turns. "Who are you?" I managed, still breathing hard. "Someone who noticed you were in trouble." His voice was low, controlled, with that Italian accent that made even simple words sound like music. "The man following you, his name is Marco Santini. He's been following you for 3 days. I've been watching him watch you." My stomach dropped. Why would anyone? I'm nobody. I just got here. "You're not nobody," he said, and pulled out a folder, handed it to me. "This is what Marco Santini does when he's interested in someone." I opened it with shaking hands. Photographs, dozens of them. Me leaving my apartment, me at cafes, me on that cliff. All taken from a distance, all deeply violating. "He works for certain people," the driver said quietly. "People who traffic in beautiful things. He finds women, tourists mostly, girls who won't be missed right away, and makes them disappear. 6 women in the last 2 years. The police do nothing because the people Marco works for own the police." The folder fell from my hands. "Why are you telling me this?" He studied me with those dark eyes. "Because you remind me of someone, and because in this world, the people who can help often choose not to. I'm choosing differently. So what now? Now you let me handle Marco Santini, and you don't go anywhere alone." He pulled out his phone. "My name is Enzo. Give me your number. If you see Marco or feel unsafe, you call me immediately." He drove me home and watched until I was safely inside. My apartment was tiny, but it had a balcony overlooking the town and sea. I locked the door, checked the windows, pulled curtains closed. Then I Googled Marco Santini Amalfi Coast. The results made me sick. Arrested twice for stalking, once for assault. No convictions. Always released. Comments said, "Everyone knows who he works for. The Santini family owns half of Salerno. Police won't touch them. Santini family, organized crime, Camorra, the southern Italian mafia." And Enzo had just inserted himself between me and a mafia-connected predator, which raised the obvious question. Who was Enzo that he thought he could do that? I barely slept. Every sound made me jump. My phone rang at 9. "Alessandra, it's Enzo. Marco Santini left town this morning, permanently. You won't see him again." "What did you do?" "I had a conversation with him. Explained that you were under protection." He paused. "You're safe now, but we should talk. Are you free for breakfast?" An hour later, I met him at La Vela Blu near the marina. Up close in daylight, he was even more striking. Tall, broad-shouldered, with confidence that came from power rather than arrogance. "You said Marco's gone," I said once we had coffee. "But you didn't say where?" "Back to Salerno, with instructions not to return. His family understands that you're not to be touched." "You did research?" he said when I mentioned the Santini family. "Wouldn't you? Which is why I assume you're wondering who I am and why they listen to me." He met my eyes. "My name is Lorenzo Vitale. My family has been in Campania for 5 generations. We have interests in various businesses, some legitimate, some in gray areas. My father was Camorra, my grandfather. I inherited their position, their responsibilities, their enemies. Lorenzo Vitale. I knew that name from my searches. Old money, influence stretching back generations." "And what are you choosing to do with that inheritance?" I asked. "To not be them. My father built an empire on suffering. I'm trying to transition us into legitimate business. It's slow, dangerous, and many think I'm weak for wanting it." He leaned forward. "I saved you because I could. Because sometimes you get a chance to do something unambiguously good. That doesn't happen often for men like me." "So what happens now?" "You could go back to your life and never see me again. Marco won't bother you. You're marked as protected." He paused. "But I would like to see you again. Have dinner. Show you the real Amalfi Coast. Learn who you are." I should have said no. "One dinner, tonight, then I decide." "One dinner," he agreed. That night, he took me to a restaurant he'd rented out completely. The meal was incredible, and the conversation flowed easier than it should have between a small-town American girl and a mafia heir trying to go legitimate. He asked about my life, and I told him about growing up in Indiana, about my brothers, about the modeling scout who'd told me I had a face that could make money. "Do you still want to make it?" Enzo asked. "Even after Giuliano and Marco?" "I don't know. Part of me wants to go home. Part of me feels like running would mean they won. I feel the same about my father's legacy. Every day I want to walk away. Every day I stay because leaving would mean he wins." We talked for hours. When he finally drove me home, we stood at my door and he said, "I need you to understand. This world I'm in, it's dangerous. Not just for me, but for anyone close to me. You deserve to make this choice with full information." I leaned into his touch. "I want to see you again too." He kissed me then, soft and careful. "Tomorrow night, dinner in town. Let everyone see." The next morning, everything changed. Enzo called, voice tight with fury. "Don't leave your apartment. The Santini family knows about us. They're claiming I've broken protocol by taking you under protection without clearing it first. Marco's father is calling for a meeting. They say you belong to them? They'd start a war over me? Not over you. Over the principle. Over whether I have authority to make decisions without consensus." He paused. "You're the excuse, not the reason. Stay inside. Let me handle this." The day crawled. At 3, my phone rang. Unknown number. "Alessandra, my name is Vittorio Santini. I believe my son made your acquaintance." My hand tightened. "If you're calling to threaten me, I'm calling to make you an offer. Lorenzo has convinced you that you need his protection, but he's using you to prove a point. You're a prop in his performance. Think carefully. Why was Marco following you? Could it be that Lorenzo saw you first and arranged for you to need saving?" He hung up, and doubt crept in. I called Enzo. "Vittorio Santini just called. He said you set up Marco to follow me." Long silence. Then, "I should have told you this earlier. I noticed you before Marco did. Saw you at the marina a week before. You were drawing the boats, and you looked like you belonged. I asked around, found out who you were. I didn't set Marco on you. But when he started following you, I waited. Made sure I was there when you needed help." My chest tightened. "So you did use me." "I used the situation to do something good while making a point. But that doesn't change that Marco was dangerous, that I protected you, that everything I've said since has been true." His voice roughened. "You want to leave? I'll put you on a plane myself. You'll be safe. And if I don't want to leave, then you're choosing a side. Choosing me. and that makes you part of this. I need time to think. That night, I got a text from an unknown number. There's a cafe called Il Nido. Meet me at 8 p.m. Come alone. I have information about Lorenzo Vitale you need to hear. I knew your mother. I knew your mother. That stopped me cold. My mother had grown up in Naples, left at 18, never talked about her childhood. When I'd asked about visiting relatives, she'd been firm. No, I should have ignored it. But I went anyway. A woman sat at a corner table. Late 50s, well-dressed. My name is Sofia Amato. I knew your mother when we were young in Naples. Why would she never mention you? Because she was running from this world, and I was part of it. Your grandfather was a soldier for the Vitale family. Worked for Antonio Vitale, Lorenzo's father, for 20 years. When he died in a territorial dispute, your mother couldn't take it anymore. She left, changed her name, started over in America. Sofia reached across. You coming back here? Getting involved with Lorenzo? It's fate pulling you into what your mother died trying to leave behind. My mother's not dead? I meant she killed her old life. Sofia stood. Call your mother. Ask her about Giuseppe Romano, about how he died working for Antonio Vitale, about why she never told you your real family name. I called my mother. Mom, I need you to tell me about Giuseppe Romano. Silence. Then, very quietly, where did you hear that name? Is it true? Was he my grandfather? Did he work for the Camorra? Yes, Giuseppe Romano was my father. He worked for Antonio Vitale until a rival family killed him when I was 17. I left Italy, changed my name to my mother's maiden name, Rossi, and swore I'd never go back. She paused. Please tell me you're not involved with that family. I met someone, Lorenzo Vitale, Antonio's son. No, that family killed your grandfather. You have to leave. Come home. I can't lose you too. Enzo picked me up from the cafe, furious I'd left. At his house, I confronted him. Is it true? Did your father get my grandfather killed? I don't know every soldier who worked for him, every casualty. But if Sofia says it's true, it probably is. He reached for me. I can't change what my father did. All I can do is try to be different. My mother wants me to come home. Then go. I won't hold you hostage. He looked at me directly. If leaving is the smart choice, leave. And if I stay? Then you stay knowing everything, knowing my father probably did order the hit that killed your grandfather. Knowing this world operates on violence and debts spanning generations. He cupped my face. I can only promise I'll do everything to protect you and be better than the men before me. I want to stay, but promise me if this gets too dangerous, you'll let me go. I can't promise that, because letting you go when you're in danger would be abandoning you. If someone targets you, I eliminate the threat. He kissed me, and I kissed him back, because I'd already chosen. The meeting is tomorrow night, he said later. With Vittorio and the other families. They'll want to see you at my side, want to know I'm willing to fight for you. The next evening, we drove to Naples, to a restaurant where 5 men waited. Vittorio Santini stood. Lorenzo, and you brought your American. Alessandra is under my protection. The issue, Vittorio said, is that you claimed this woman without consensus. Marco saw her first. Marco is a predator. He was stalking her. I intervened. You interfered with Santini business. I protected an innocent woman from being trafficked. Enzo pulled out a folder. I have documentation. Marco has been trafficking women under your family's protection. Vittorio looked through it, face darkening. Even if true, it doesn't give you the right to take action without discussion. I took action to prevent another woman from disappearing. Enzo stood, hand finding mine. Alessandra is under Vitale protection. Any move against her is a move against me. If the Santini family wants to test that, we can settle this the old way. War. Vittorio studied us. You'd go to war over one woman? Over the principle that we're supposed to be better, that we don't traffic women. He squeezed my hand. Alessandra is just the line in the sand, but the line needs to exist. Long silence. Then Vittorio nodded. Fine, the woman is yours. But Lorenzo, this protection better be permanent. If she leaves, if she betrays you, don't expect us to honor this. Understood. Just like that, it was over. What happens now? I asked later. Now you decide. Stay in Italy, build your career, see where this goes, or go home, start over. He touched my face. If you go, you can't come back. That door closes. I sat on my balcony that night and thought about my mother, my grandfather, the cycles of violence, about Enzo trying to break those cycles, about who I'd been versus who I was becoming. By morning, I knew. I'm staying, I told Enzo. But on my terms. I'm not your possession. I'm your partner. I get a say in decisions affecting me. And if I decide to leave later, you let me go without punishment. Those are fair terms, I agree. I love you, Enzo said at breakfast. I know it's too soon, but I do. I think I love you too. I'm terrified of it, but I do. Good. Terrified together is better than brave alone. The next months were strange and wonderful. Enzo introduced me to his world slowly. My modeling career took off. Photographers who'd ignored me suddenly wanted to work with me. Brands reconsidered. You were always talented, Enzo said. Now you're getting the opportunities you deserve. I shot for Italian Vogue, walked shows in Milan, built the career I'd dreamed of. And at night, I came home to Enzo, to the house on the cliff, to a life equal parts dangerous and beautiful. 6 months later, Enzo took me to that first restaurant. I have something to ask you. He pulled out a ring. Will you marry me? Yes, I said. Yes, I'll marry you. We married on the Amalfi Coast 6 months later. My mother came, met Enzo, finally nodded acceptance. He's not Antonio. You chose better than I did. So that's how I became Alessandra Vitale, wife to a reformed mafia heir, model and artist, woman who learned that beauty and danger can coexist, that love is always a risk worth taking, and that sometimes the most powerful choice is to stay when every instinct says run. It's not a fairy tale. It's messier, more complicated. But it's ours. Built on choices made with open eyes, love given with full knowledge of its cost. Late at night when I can't sleep, I stand on our balcony and look at Positano cascading to the sea, and I think about the woman I was when I arrived. Naive, hopeful, chasing a simple dream. I'm not that woman anymore. I'm someone different, stronger, more complicated, more aware of how shadows and light exist together. Someone who learned that being saved isn't about waiting for rescue. It's about choosing the hand that reaches for you and holding on even when the world tries to pull you apart. That's my story. The American model and the Camorra heir who tried to go legitimate. The beauty and the beast, except we're both a little of each, and that's what makes it work. Thanks for listening to this one. If you enjoyed Alessandra and Enzo's story, hit that like button and let me know in the comments. Should I do more Italian mafia romances? Drop your suggestions below, and if you're new here, subscribe so you don't miss the next story. Until next time, ciao, and stay safe out there.